Hey guys, it's Scott here. And in this week's video, I want to talk about the Iroquois Stakes. And it's easy to overlook this race with next weekend be the Pennsylvania Derby. But this race features points for the 2023 Kentucky Derby. So this is a low-key good race for everybody to watch this week, as you might see some of these horses again down the road on the road of the Kentucky Derby. It's kind of hard to believe that it's almost that time as it feels like Rich Strike just won the Kentucky Derby not even that long ago. And we just had Epicenter, with a dominant Trevor's performance, try to reassert himself as a top horse. But nonetheless, we're back at it again, and this race is going to feature Damon's Mount winning the Saratoga Special. They got Echo again by Steve Asmussen, Jason Rudd by Brad Cox. Kenny McPeak has a couple horses in there, so it's going to draw a very good field, and the race is going a mile and 16th, so it'll be the first time, a lot of these horses have went that far. There's a few of them that only ran in sprints, and we're going to take a detailed look at the field, and you got Hayes striking this race, trained by Kenny McPeak. He didn't do so good break his maiden at 7 furlongs, and he came back at a mile and one. And I think this might be a horse that the second effort is probably more capable of what he's doing than the first one. I don't think he was ready to fire his big race from the first one, or Kenny McPeak didn't have him completely ready to fire the effort. But you can't overlook Kenny McPeak, because when it comes to these 2-year-old races, this trainer has definitely, grabbed his share of horse or winners over the time. You can think of Smile Happy last year, Rattle and Roll. So you definitely got to watch out for this trainer when it comes to these big time races like that. You also got the two horse Zyke, trained by Ricky Corville. And this trainer might be known for springing that 70 something to 1 upset with Unoho last year in the Rebel. But I'm going to play against that he doesn't do that here. So that's all I'm going to say about this horse. Then you got Damon's Mountain, who's probably going to end up taking a lot of the bet money, as this horse looked impressive in its first two races. Broke his maiden by 12 lengths, then challenged Gulfport in that Saratoga Special. And Gulfport was kind of highly thought of as being a contender for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, but after the last couple efforts, I think some of that talk has kind of cooled off a little bit. But nonetheless, you got Damon's Mountain has been very heavily talked about, and you got Jen Tong from Calumet Farm, trained by Doug O'Neill, who's been known to send some horses across the country and get some upsets. You can think of Hot Rod Charlie in Breeders' Cup a couple of years ago at, I think it was 90 something to 1, and then IRAP came over into the Bluegrass couple years before that. So definitely a trainer to watch out for, and definitely an ownership group to watch out for when it comes to spring and long shots. And you got Curly Jack, trained by Thomas Amos, and I like Amos a lot more when it comes to sprint races. I don't like him much as a route type trainer, so I'm going to be personally playing against Curly Jack. But you do got to respect Amos as being a good trainer. And then you got Brad Cox, who has Jace's Road, and I think Brad Cox can, potentially win this race. And we're going to talk about this ownership group, Albaugh Family Stables in a minute. And that's going to bring me to Hone, trained by Kenny McPeak, the other Kenny McPeak horse. And I find it interesting that Brian Hernandez, jumped off this horse to go ride the number one. So Leperoux's going to, end up taking over this one. And you got a confidence game with, owned by Don't Tell My Wife Stables, trained by, Keith DeSormo. And I think this horse, if you remember Call Me Midnight last year, and then Happy Jack and Exaggerator. So Sormo does get some horses on the Derby try to do good. So definitely one you can't rule out for superfecta purposes. And this trainer kind of takes horse start at these shorter distances and kind of build a foundation to work their way up. So you can't rule that out. And then Echo again, trained by Steve Asmussen. I see his horse being second in the money, and he's owned by Winchell Thoroughbreds, and you'll recognize that name because they own Epicenter, who is became one of the top 3-year-olds. And I can imagine they're going to try again with this horse after his first race, very impressive by almost 7 lengths. So we'll see what this horse can do. His first try around 2 turns. Sire by Gunrunner, so very good sire. Also, the Gunrunner was trained by Steve Asmussen, so that might be some sentimental value to him. And we're going to come over here and get a look at this ownership group. And this is going to be the 2018 Iroquois Stakes. And you're going to recognize Kenny McPeak, Steve Asmussen, Brad Cox, Steve Asmussen, and they're going to recognize Winchell Thoroughbreds. And I say this because you're going to start seeing some of these familiar names right here coming a lot. We're going to go over to 2019. You got Steve Asmussen right there, Albaugh Family Stables, and Albaugh Family Stables is the one that owns Jason's Road by Brad Cox. Here's Don't Tell My Wife Stables, the Sormo horse. And we're going to take you to 2020, and you can see Asmussen with 2 horses in there. Albaugh Family Stables again, and then there's Winchell Thoroughbreds. And then Del Romans, was the trainer of the race for the Albaugh Family Stables. But I don't think it's going to matter that it switches over from Dale Romans to Brad Cox. And I think that ownership group targets these kind of races, so that's I'm gonna have a hard time leaving a horse like that out of my trifectas and superfectas. And even though they went, you see Asmussen has a couple more horses pointed, Stellar Tap and Guntown. And there's Windshell Thoroughbreds and West Point Thoroughbreds. So as you can see, Windshell Thoroughbreds, West Point, All Ball Family Stables, they point a lot of horses in these type of races. So, in my three horses, I'll be personally using. I'm going to use Echo again. I'm not going to play anybody to win, as I think this time of year you're kind of taking. You don't know what horse is going to jump up and be able to steal the show. These horses are constantly improving. Like 2-year-old racers are some of the riskiest ones you can bet on. You almost got to take a chance on what ownership. You need an interesting combination. You got to look at the races, look at how they ran the race. You got to see the progression, maybe catch on some trainer patterns, see what ownership groups target certain races and what trainers. And you really just got to put it together. That's how I think the best way to play it is. It's tough to just look at this race and say, that horse is a surefire one of the race. Somebody could say that, and eventually they'll be right. But I promise you, if they keep that kind of style up, they're not going to win too many races doing it. So I'm going to put Jason's Road in my, trifecta. I'm going to put Echo again in my trifecta. I'm going to play the Hayes Strike in my trifecta. And I think we can get a little bit of a price on this horse, with some of the other ones being overlooked. And, it won its race at 9-1. And you're going to have Damon's Mountains up taking a lot of money. I think this will be the favorite, off those two impressive wins. And, won a grade 2 stakes race, even at 6.5 furlongs. But I don't think this horse ever probably being able to stretch out. And then, also in the bottom of my, exotics, I'm going to put Confidence Game in there, by this Ormo. And that's how I'm going to play the rest. I'm not going to play one particular horse. I'm just going to try some exactas and trifecta to see what I can't come up with. And thanks for watching, guys. Plenty more to come.